Hi folks, welcome back inside Manhattan Basketball. Chris Scheimel speaking with the head coach of Manhattan men's basketball, Steve Masiello. Coach, two very gritty, very thrilling for the fans. I'm not sure how exciting they were for you, but road victories to start this year for this team.
Yeah, anytime you can be 2-0 and you start off on the road, you have to take it and be excited about it. Go on the road and beat a Sweet 16 team in LaSalle, who returns, I believe, 5 of their top 6 guys or 6 of their top 7. Very tough place to play. And then we go and beat a team in Columbia who's just given us absolute fits over the last 2 years, and they gave us fits again this year. So we're happy we're 2-0, but we also understand we could just as easily be 1-1, 0-2, and you have to. It's always better to learn from a win than a loss. So I'd much rather teach from a win, and we have a lot of teaching to do.
But how important is it for you to convey that to the team, that they could just as easily be on the flip side of both of these games?
I don't want to be negative and say, well, you could be 0-2. What's important that they understand is, I've been watching college basketball, and you look around, and I don't see any team being dominant right now. Even the elite teams, you look at them, there's a lot of flaws and deficiencies in every team right now. A lot of it has to do with the new rules, how deep shooting percentages are up, because teams aren't defending it, as well, and those type of things. So it's more teaching points of, what you say is like, let's say right now we made 63 mistakes against Columbia. Our goal is by GW to have that down to 40.
Right.
Then you take that from GW and you want it down to 32 by Illinois State. Now let's say from Illinois State you want it down by 20 to Fordham. And then you build on it that way. You don't want to say, well, you could be 0-2. You could say that, and that's part of the game.
Right.
And I give the guys a lot of credit for having great mental fortitude, mental toughness, grit. That adds to winning. So they have qualities that are, winning breeds winning, and they've shown qualities that have helped them win these 2 games, which you want to praise. But they also need to understand certain bumps, certain rotations, those type of things that need to be taken care of. And we'll get there.
Obviously, both wins, great team efforts all around from these guys, whether it was Emi Enduar at LaSalle, Shane Richards, Columbia, whoever it was. But the numbers that are going to jump out and the things that all the fans are going to talk about is George Beeman back on the court.
Yeah, he's back on the court. He's not playing well. He's not. And he knows that. We all know how gifted a scorer he is. Don't think I'm sitting here picking or putting this on George. He's just that talented of a player. He's getting beat a lot off the dribble. He's a good enough athlete where he should contain. I'd like to see his steal numbers get up. I'd like to see him talk more. Without George, we're not where we are. This program wouldn't be where it is. So I'm not downplaying George. It's really a compliment to him of what I think of his game. You look at him, I think he was 6 for 20 at LaSalle, but had 8 rebounds. That's terrific. And he could have easily, he had some easy plays that he knows him and I have gone over that could have made a big difference in the game. The same thing with Columbia. But that's part of, what you have to realize about George. He hasn't played in a year. And there is some rust to him. It's going to take him some time. But we're going in the right direction. It's just we're not very good right now. We hopefully will be, but right now we're not a very good team.
Take myself and the rest of Jasper Nation, who didn't get down to Philadelphia for LaSalle, and the way that game went through, and of course double overtime, and the big plays made by guys like Emi and Mike Alvarado.
Yeah, I think you can make a statement for almost everyone had a major play, whether it was Carlton Allen coming in and giving you some great minutes off the bench, whether it was Rashawn Storage just making some huge big plays, Emi Enduar, Mike Alvarado, of course, Ramel Brown's blocks, Adam Lacey on the basketball in late game. Just a lot of good things that we did to help you win, but that's what it takes. It takes total team effort. It takes guys stepping up, playing a step up, and really understanding what they have to do. The thing I challenged the guys with was I said, listen, do you want to be known as a dangerous team or do you want to be known as an elite team? A dangerous team can beat LaSalle at LaSalle, but then you can go lose, let's say, to a Columbia at Columbia, or you can lose at your opener. No, that's a dangerous team. They can beat anyone and lose to anyone. The elite teams take care of business. One way or another, they find a way to take care of business. We did that, and I'm happy and I'm proud of that, and I hope that type of resolve stays with us through the year, but we have a lot of work to do.
The last 50 seconds at Columbia, with the way Grant Mullins led his team back for Columbia and had a great second half, but also the way Emi Enduar, again, a huge offensive rebound at that final seconds, picking up the rest of his team, and George obviously with the putback to be able to win that game.
Yeah. It's one of those things, we should never been in that situation. We just shouldn't have. We made some major defensive mistakes where we got screened in the zone, got screened in our man, didn't step up early, gave up Ramel and Rashawn Storrs didn't play a switch properly. We wound up, Ramel gives up a 3 to Mullins in the second half. Then they fade us on the weak side of the zone. Emmy runs into a screen. Ramel doesn't step up baseline. So we made some big plays. Incorporate that into, and 79% free throw shooter goes 3 for 11, 79%. You know, he's an 80% career free throw shooter, goes 3 for 11. He makes his free throws, game's over. That's not to say, you know, if it wasn't for Mike Alvarado, we wouldn't be where we were, but it's just, it was that type of night. Emmy Anyor comes up with a huge free throw play for us to keep the basketball alive. George makes a great play, gets it, has the wherewithal to know the clock's running out, get a shot, back up, draw contact, and then the free throw. Because so many guys make that shot but then leave the free throw on the table. He finished the play, and it was just a great way to finish the night.
With a guy like Shane Richards, as hot as he was in the first half, we talked
He's not
about
hot.
weapons.
That's not hot. He's not that.
5 for 6. He had
It's not
15
hot.
points in the first half.
Come watch practice.
Fair enough.
That's that. People. He's not. No, that is Shane Richards. You know, people need to start giving that kid the credit he deserves. That's not hot.
With the weapons of this team,
Yeah.
how dangerous is it when Shane is Shane Richards?
When he's shooting the ball, you mean? Yeah. I have a rule with our point guards. If he doesn't get 12 shots, I'm running my point guards. I mean, he doesn't shoot enough. You know, now, that being said, give defenses credit. You know, they understand coming into a game, they want to take him away, and they don't want to let him get up and looks. He's terrific. You know, he's one of the best shooters in America, in my opinion. He's got, what people don't realize about Shane Richards is he's a legit 6'5". So he has great size and his ability to shoot over defenses. He has a pure stroke. We know to find him in transition. I think that's the biggest difference that you're seeing with the team is they look for him in transition. They look for him in spots. They try to find him in situations. So it's a very good thing. You know, he gives us, it's a very nice, I always thought Shane would really benefit from George. I think it's going the other way around. I think George is really starting to benefit from Shane too now because teams are so worried about Shane that, you know, you leave George in a lot of single coverage situations. I'm disappointed in our front line. That's where the step needs to come up. You can't go do what you did at LaSalle and then not show up against Columbia. Our front line was non-existent at Columbia, and that's something that's already been addressed and I'll continue to address.
As always, Coach, I like to get the fans involved, and a big part of Jasper Nation is the Jasper Band. They submitted a question. They want to know, what's your favorite song the band plays during games here at Draddy?
Wow, I got to think about that. I'm gonna have to get back to them about the best song. They play so many good ones. And the funny thing is, during our games, I don't know if I really get to listen to what they play. I really got my appreciation for the band. I knew how good they were from our games, and I've heard all the people talk about them from the MAC tournament. Where I really got my appreciation for them was the women's volleyball matches, where I got to actually be a fan and sit here and listen and enjoy it. During our games, I'm not as you know, in the festive mood most of the time. But I'm going to get back to them on that. What they brought to the Draddy Gym, what they brought to our program is invaluable. It's changed our game day experience. It's made our culture more of a basketball culture. It's really kind of a huge piece. And I think people say, how's your band is important? It's so important because when you bring recruits and you bring parents and boosters, alumni, and you come in, you feel like you're in a college environment. And that goes hand in hand. When your program is doing well, that piece is just as important to take that next step. So I'm a big fan of our band, and I'll put it up against anyone. I might even have a party in my house and have them. That's how good I think they are.
Even with the Jasper Band, a big part of Jasper Nation, last year the MAC tournament, last year at the big games here at Draddy Gymnasium, and through the first 2 games of the year being on the road, there is very few, if any, mid-major program that has a better fan base. Maybe a better program in the country that has a better fan base than Jasper Nation.
That's what we do. The Jasper people joke about this Jasper Nation thing. This thing is real.
Yep.
This Jasper Nation movement is a real deal. When I get on the mic and I yell Jasper Nation, they're coming. If I put the Jasper Nation symbol up in the sky, watch out. If I get that bat signal, I put up Jasper Nation, and they start seeing, they all come out. It's over. You know, listen. You know, we take the one train to the game. The band's rolling with us. Cheerleaders are rolling. Jasper Nation is moving. The 6th borough travels. You know, we've added that dimension to it. And I think what happens is, you know what I mean, is this basketball team is an extension of the student body of this campus. You know, listen, we're kids made up mostly of humble guys who have great work ethics, who are overachievers. That's really what this campus is made up of, those type of guys. And that's kind of our mantra on the basketball court. We want to represent our student body. They are this basketball team. They make us go. You know what it's like when you're going into that second overtime and you look up and you see 200 fans up in the, in Philadelphia. That's very motivating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're at Columbia and you're down 8-0 to start a game, and you still got 200. If you have more fans on the road than
the home team.
The home team.
Yeah.
I mean, I only know one program that does that, and I play for them in college. You know what I mean? You don't see that a lot. So, and I'm not saying we're Kentucky by any means, but I just think when you start to develop a good product and a good brand, and that like the athletic department is doing, and our men's basketball team is starting to take that step, it really makes it fun to have, like I said, that other component to come along with it, because it's like going on vacation by yourself. You see all this beautiful stuff, you can't share it with anyone. It's great when people can enjoy it with you, and that's what it's about, and that's why it's so special. The sixth borough is, I don't know what I'd do without them. I'm trying to get it in our budget where we just take them everywhere we go. That's what I'm working for.
The sixth borough doesn't have to travel far this weekend, Coach. You finally open up the season, the home season, here at Draddy on Saturday night against George Washington. Another team with a lot of size, another A10 opponent coming in here after a competitive matchup last year down in D.C.
Yeah, very, very, very good team. Obviously very talented, with their front line. They have great size and a terrific young player, not young player, but Mr. Armwood, who was at Villanova, now a transfer. He hurt us last year. They have a good backcourt. They're very well coached. They're well disciplined. They'll give you a lot of different looks. They are a tough matchup. They're a dangerous team, I think, in the A10 that can cause a lot of problems. You can't get into rankings because you see like LaSalle, I think, was picked third in the A10, and I think Columbia was picked bottom of the pack in the Ivy League. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not a ninth place team in the Ivy League.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now. That team does not finish ninth in the Ivy League. GW, I think, was kind of in the middle of the pack in the A10. All that is meaningless right now. It's early in college basketball season. You see these type of matchups. They are a very capable team. They just put up 108, I believe, on Maine the other night. That's the biggest difference to them. They weren't a scoring machine last year. Now they can really score the basketball. So they're a team I'm very, very worried about. It's extremely, I don't know what Matt Grady was thinking when he scheduled this opener. The openers are supposed to be like fun and enjoyable games. This isn't a fun opener.
108 points against Maine, 5 guys in double figures for GW. You brought up Armwood. Is there a specific player on this team that you have to take away, or are they that balanced of a team where it's just got to be an all-around great defense?
They're extremely balanced, but we have to understand where they get their stuff. We have to understand the backboard is going to be just a huge, huge piece to this game. And I didn't like the way we were against Columbia, and I loved the way we were against LaSalle. So I still don't know this team in the sense of where are we on the backboard. Again, our front line, I am furious at. Furious. I mean, Ashton Banker, Mel Brown, Amy Anuar, I have major issues with Donovan Cates, the way they handled the Columbia game. So they have to come out and they have to make a statement, this weekend against George Washington, because this is no knock on Columbia. If they do that type of performance, we have no chance to win this game, because if George Washington is that good on the backboard. We have to try to make GW play our style. We have to try to get them going, get them out of control, create a frenzied pace, really disrupt what they do. They're a very well-patterned team who knows exactly what they want. McDonald's very talented in the backcourt. He's very solid. He knows where to go, where to get the basketball. Maurice Creek from Indiana is a guy who had 31, I believe, as a freshman against Kentucky. He could take a game over like that, 50-year senior. So they pose a lot of issues for us, as they will many teams. It's really it's going to come down to who can control the game and put their stamp on it, so to speak.
How much of that is a mentality factor on the backboards, especially considering the way the game is being officiated now with the new rules?
I think it's more of a discipline, and I really think it's. And what do I mean by that? Well, I know if I'm getting blocked out. Last year, I might have been able to actually out jump and go over someone a little bit and maybe get some contact and get the rebound. This year, if I feel contact at all, I now got to spin off the defender, get away from the contact, get an athletic step, and go get it. And that's what we're not doing. We're just trying to go over guys sometimes and use our athleticism, and the refs are now calling that. Hey, listen, I've complained, and I'm going to continue to complain. I don't know the purpose of this. I don't know why we're doing this. I don't know where this is getting the game. Is it so we can say, hey, scoring's up 8 points a game on opening weekend? Great. I don't know if that makes good college basketball. Some of these fouls have no bearing on the game. And I think we're just calling it to say, well, we called the tighter whistle. And, again, I'm a coach. I'm not on the rules committee. So I'm still lost at that. I don't know I haven't heard one coach come out and say, hey, these rules are awesome. This is really going the way I want. All I see is very good players in foul trouble. And again, Tim Klu's made up a great point because you're going to wind up seeing third-string guys on the court a whole lot. No, that's not what we're here for. But the point is, it is a mentality, but it's also a discipline to know that I cannot do these little things because they're going to call it now.
You brought up Donovan Cates. You talked about George Beeman at LaSalle. How much are you also getting on your guards to get in there and crash the boards?
Well, that's a given. And my thing with them is and as upset as I am, they've been doing that, I think, for the most part. They're coming up with the loose balls. They're getting there and mixing it up. I'm going to continue to stay on them about that. But Ramel Brown should be a 12 to 15 rebound a night guy. Emmy Anuar is an 8 to 11. Asher Penke's an 8 to 11 guy. And they're just flat out, we're not getting it done on the backboard. And that's something we got to get done. And you look and say, well, you're plus 10 on the year and you beat Columbia by 2 and LaSalle by 17. It's not good enough.
Yeah.
It's not good enough. Not with the team we have. I mean, we should be dominating teams on the glass, and I'm not going to be satisfied until that happens.
Home season opens up on Saturday. Coach, Jasper Nation going to get to see their team in action against D1. Last time this one was Nyack. What do you have to say for this Jasper Nation squad to be able to pack Draddy Gymnasium Saturday?
They know the deal. Jasper Nation has to come strong and make a statement opening night. This is where we really show what Jasper Nation is all about. Sixth borough, it's getting so big now. We're moving the sixth borough, so we're behind by the basket by the visitors bench, and now we're also going to swing around and start moving the sixth borough over there. We've got some space approved now, so we're going to take part of section 14, add that to the sixth borough. The borough has grown, so we've added new zip codes, new area codes to the sixth borough. It's expanding, and we might even bring in a seventh borough depending on what happens.
7 o'clock Saturday night against George Washington here at Draddy Gymnasium.
We might go 8 boroughs if we have to by March. We might have 8 boroughs in New York. That's how deep Jasper Nation might be. We might just get a real bat signal and put it out for Jasper Nation.
If you want to ask Coach a question next
9 boroughs. We might go 9 boroughs this year. I don't know. Depends.
You can tweet us your questions at GoJaspers. You can email us gojaspers@manhattan.edu. Don't forget you can follow Coach on Twitter.
More importantly, he almost lost his job. More importantly, had that outcome not have happened, he should take George Beeman out. I don't know if it's a violation, but he should, because he was on the call. If we had lost, he would not be sitting here right now. It'd be a young man named Jaden who'd be sitting here doing this interview. I'm
going to boost the kid's ego a little bit, talk about following you on Twitter. I know you love him, and he's going to be here on Saturday, but I think my little brother thinks he's more part of the team and more part of the staff than I am.
He is. I listen to his brother more than him. His brother actually is very educated, understands the game, positive, well-groomed, shaven, clean-cut. This is what I deal with.
Coach, thanks a lot for the time. Thanks for joining us inside Manhattan Basketball.